Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Roots of Biology. In this channel, I am teaching for class 8th, 9th and 10th, both CBSE and ICSE syllabus. For more videos, please do watch my channel, like, share and subscribe. Okay, let us move on to the topic. In our previous class, I was explaining you about respiration. So whatever the concepts I'm teaching you, this is for class 10th CBSE syllabus, chapter 6, life processes. Okay, let us continue with this chapter. Today I'm going to explain you about another important concept, that is what we called as transportation. So what I'm explaining you today I'm going to explain you about transportation. Come, let us understand what do you mean by transportation. Dear students, now let us try to understand about transportation. So transportation is very important. What do you mean by transportation? If I ask you a meaning, you will say, right? So transportation is one such thing. It is helpful to transport from one place to another. So might be any things, right? So what about transportation in our body, right? So each and every living organism, we need a few necessary components like air, water and food for our survival. We require that, right? So on a regular basis, even animal ensure these elements by breathing, drinking as well as eating. We depend upon these substances in this way. So the required elements are transported to their body, cell and tissue by transportation system. There is a particular system in our body. It is helpful to transport these substances. So even in plants, there is a particular tissue called vascular tissue, which is responsible for transporting the substances. Come, let us understand in detail about this transportation. Now first understand about transportation in human beings. You know that the main transport system in human being is the circulatory system. So it contains mainly blood, arteries, vein, capillaries and heart. Got it? So these are the important transport system in our body. Like now let us understand about blood. It transport food, oxygen and waste product. Okay, it mainly consisting of plasma, RBC, white blood cells and platelets. These are the major different types of blood. Okay, these plasma transport food, water, carbon dioxide as well as nitrogenous waste. So red blood cells, it transport oxygen. What is the function of red RBC? That is helpful to transport oxygen. What about WBC then? It is helpful to kill harmful microbes and protect our body. What about platelets then? These platelets help in clotting of blood and prevent loss of blood during injury. Suppose if any injury in our body, it is helpful to protect our body. So this is regarding blood. Next, let us understand about arteries. So what about arteries then? So these arteries, it carry pure blood from heart to all parts of the body. It is helpful to carry the pure blood from heart to different parts of our body. So they are thick walled and do not have a walls. And what about veins then? These carry impure blood from all part of the body to the heart. That's the major function of veins. They are very thin walled and have a walls. Okay, so what about capillaries then? So these are very narrow blood vessels. So it mainly connect arteries and veins together. It connect both arteries and veins together. So the exchange of food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. These are the components between the blood cell and cell take place through these capillaries. So these are the major functions of blood, arteries, veins and capillaries. Come, let us understand about this in detail in our next slide. Now let us try to understand about heart. It is also a major pumping organ of our body. Okay, so where it is located then? It is usually located near the chest, slightly towards the left of the thoracic region. Okay, so it is mainly pumps the blood to all part of the body. It has a four chambers. How many chambers heart have? It has four chambers. The upper chambers are called atria and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Okay, so the human heart is divided into four chambers, which is involved in the transportation of, it's very important, please try to understand, oxygenated as well as deoxygenated blood. That is a major function of heart. So upper two chambers, I told you already, these are called atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. So the right and the left chambers are separated by septum. So there is a particular organ called septum. It prevents the mixing of both oxygenated as well as deoxygenated blood. So the atria and ventricles have a walls. So you can see here it has a walls between them. What is the function of this then? It is helpful to prevent blood flowing backward. Okay, so this is regarding the structure of heart. You can see, have a look at these pictures. So you can see what are the different parts in heart. Pulmonary wall, and it has a pulmonary veins, and we have a right atrium is here, and tricuspid valve, and we have a right ventricle. And if I come over here, it has a pulmonary arteries and left atrium, and we have a mitral valve, and we have a aortic valve, and we have a left ventricle, and we have a particular structure called aorta is here. So let us understand about this in detail in our next slide. Now let us try to understand about the working of heart, or I can say the circulation of blood. So the heart function to circulate blood around the body. You know that, right? So the right and the left side of the heart, you can see here, the right and the left side of the heart pump blood into two different circulation. So the right side pump deoxygenated blood. This right side it pump deoxygenated blood. So blood into the pulmonary circulation, while the left side pumps oxygenated blood into systemic circulations. So these right atrium, it receive deoxygenated blood from the body tissue via the superior vena cava, so and inferior vena cava. Got it? So these right atrium, it receive the deoxygenated from blood tissue from the superior as well as inferior vena cava. So the blood enters into the right atrium, which pumps the blood into the right ventricle. So the tricuspid valve, you can see here, this tricuspid valve, you can see here the tricuspid valve, it prevents the blood from flowing backward. Alright, that is a major function of this into the right atrium. The right ventricle pumps, these right ventricle, it pumps the blood into pulmonary artery via the pulmonary valve. Okay, pulmonary artery via the pulmonary valve. Now let us try to understand about this process in detail now. So when the left atrium, it relaxes, now let us try to understand about this left atrium. When it is relaxes, oxygenated blood from the lungs flow into it through the pulmonary veins. Got it? So from the pulmonary veins enter into it. So when it contracts, the left ventricle expands and blood will flow into it. Got it? So then the left ventricle contract and the oxygenated blood is pumped out through the aorta to all the part of the body. After circulation, what happened? Through all the part of the body, after circulating through all the part of the body, the deoxygenated blood enter to the right atrium through the vena cava. That is what I told you, superior vena cava as well as inferior vena cava. When the right atrium contracts, what happen here? The right ventricles, it expands and the blood will flow into it. Got it? So then the right ventricle contracts and the blood is pumped to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. So it pumped to the lungs to the pulmonary artery. In the lungs, what happened? The carbon dioxide is removed and the oxygen is absorbed, and the oxygenated blood again enter into the left atrium, and the process will repeat. So the process will repeat. That is why, since the blood flow through the heart twice in one cycle, that is why it is called as double circulation. You can have a look at this picture, how the circulation process which take place in a body. Now I hope you got it. Let us move on to the next slide. Have a look at this animated video of heart circulation process, how it is taken place in our body. Now let us try to understand about lymph. Okay, so lymph, what do you mean by lymph? It is a colorless fluid. Where it is present? It is usually present in the intercellular spaces. It is formed from the plasma. So it mainly escapes from the capillaries. Lymph drain into lymphatic capillaries, which form a lymphatic vessels and join into large veins. Lymph transport digested fat and drains excess fluid from the intercellular spaces back into the blood. So it mainly contains lymphocytes which kill germs, as well as it is helpful to protect the body. That is regarding lymph. Now let us try to understand about heart of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles and fishes. So let us try to understand about the mammals. So mammals and birds have four chamber heart. Okay, and the right and the left side of the heart is separated by septum. I already explained you, right? So right and left it is separated by a septum. So this is birds and mammals, we have a four chambered heart. So this prevent, it is a, what is the function of septum? It prevent mixing of oxygenated as well as deoxygenated blood, and is also provide efficiency of supply of oxygen. So it is very important and necessary because they need more energy to maintain their body temperature. So that is regarding the heart in mammals. Now let us discuss about amphibians and reptiles. They have a three-chambered heart. Okay, it allows some mixing of oxygenated and blood, oxygenated as well as deoxygenated blood, because they do not use energy to maintain their body temperature. So their body temperature is same as the temperature of the surrounding. So that is regarding the heart of amphibians and reptiles. The last one is the heart of fish. It has only two chambered, and that is oxygenated in the gills. So this is regarding the heart of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles and fishes. Let us move on to the next slide. Now let us try to understand about the transportation in plants. So you know that the plant transportation, how transportation occur in human beings, the same way the plants also undergo a process called transportation, but it shows some difference here. So in plants what happen? Transportation of materials. What are the materials will transport here? Like food, water and minerals take place through a conducting tissue. So what are, I think you already studied about this, the conducting tissue called xylem and phloem. So these xylem, so let us try to understand about the xylem now. So it transport water as well as minerals. So you know that elements of xylem. What are the different elements of xylem? Tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. These are the different elements of xylem. So it is helpful to transport water and minerals from roots to all the parts of the plant. It mainly consisting of xylem vessels and tracheids. I already told you. So water and minerals enter the root by a process called diffusion. Then due to transpiration, the suction force help in upward movement of the water and minerals. So this is regarding transportation in plants through xylem. So now let us move on to the next slide. Now let us try to understand about phloem. So what is the function of phloem? It transport food from the leaves to the other parts of the plants. Okay, so that is the major function of phloem. So it is called translocation. What we call for this process? Translocation. The phloem consisting of the components of phloem are sieve tube and companion cells. So these food from the leaves is transferred to xylem by the energy of ATP molecules. Due to some osmotic pressure, water enter the phloem and help in transportation of a food. So this is regarding the transportation in phloem. Have a look at this video, how transportation which occur in a plants. Okay, thanks for watching my video till now. I hope you got it, whatever the concepts I explained you today. So in our next class, I'm going to explain you about excretion. It's also very important concept to understand. Till now, whatever I have explained you, I hope you got it. Please do watch my videos, like, share and subscribe. It might be useful to many students like you. Thank you.